So, after the whole controversy regarding the Glastonbury event, one of the biggest supporters of the Palestinian movement in this country was invited on to actually give her opinion on the whole event, and specifically the whole event regarding the chant about death to the IDF. Obviously, considering her position, it will probably be quite odd for her to actually condemn the whole thing, considering she is one of the biggest supporters of the Free Palestinian movement after all. But being online and actually seeing the whole reaction from that whole base, right, we can probably expect her whole reaction to be around the idea that, oh, why are you calling our chant? It's free speech after all. Why is it that you're focusing so much on someone chanting in an event rather than actually attending to the whole injustice happening over there? But she could surprise everyone. She might actually condemn the whole chant itself. I obviously doubt it. But before getting into today's video, if you're new around here, subscribe to the channel, and also if you like the content, drop a like. Let's get into it.
Let's get more with campaigns coordinator for the revolutionary communist Fiona Lalli. Fiona, thank you very much for joining us here on Britain's Newsroom. So Bob Villan, obviously now being condemned by multiple members of parliament, congressmen. There's, attempts in America to now have their visas revoked. They said there were anti-Semitic comments by and lots of anti-Semitism campaign groups. The irony of all of this is in 2020, Bob Villan were supposedly giving racism the middle finger at concerts against racism. Do you think they are just purely shameless, looking to get 15 minutes of fame?
No, I think I'm really glad that this has happened because it's giving us an opportunity to expose the IDF and say, what is the IDF? The IDF is a monstrous imperialist army that has killed over 100,000 Palestinians on behalf of Israel, and it is committing barbaric acts every single day. And the way that the media has reported on this has been astounding, but it actually makes people feel sick because, yeah, there was horrific violence over the weekend, but it wasn't at Glastonbury. It was in Palestine. It was soldiers from the IDF.
Like, the way these people always frame this conflict and frame everything is actually quite odd. Very disingenuous, actually. This whole idea of killing people, it's so much more than that, okay? There's a conflict going on between Hamas and the IDF, okay? There's a war going on between both, okay? Now you can condemn the action of taking it too far and actually like attacking people that are just civilians, but just saying the IDF is just going out there randomly to just go kill people because they want to, it's insane, okay? There is a conflict going on, and unfortunately there will be civilians that actually die. But you can obviously condemn the action that they've taken it too far, but you don't negate the whole thing that October 7th happened, and then from there on, there's been a war between the IDF and Hamas, right? It's more than just the IDF killing people. That the only talking point you seem to hear from these people is the killing people, the killing women and children, the killing 100,000 of people, apartheid, like occupation, ethnic cleansing. That seems to be the only thing they actually say. There's much more to this conflict than just someone killing someone.
Consciously shooting Palestinians who are queuing up for aid. And they do that on purpose.
Okay, so
in fact, they are instructed to do that. They are instructed to do that.
Fiona, you are aware.
That's disgusting.
You are aware that Hamas have instructed the death of Palestinians who are assisting with the aid delivery. I mean, this is a fact. You are aware of that. So that's
a fact.
No. I'm telling you a fact. Hamas are doing that, and they're killing their own people, and they're urging others to kill any Palestinians who are helping with
Israel.
the aid delivery.
No,
are you aware of that?
No, that is actually true. They actually do. Like, I mean, considering Hamas is a terrorist group, would you be surprised? Probably not.
It is true. And when the mainstream media and people like yourself say these things, everything you do acts as justification for the IDF and for Netanyahu.
Absolutely not.
So you're a bit like Keir Starmer, actually.
Can I take
Keir Starmer also does
like Keir Starmer.
I don't think the audience will agree with that. I mean, they know.
I thought you'd find that funny.
Can I just take a slightly nuanced approach?
What you do when you say these things is line up with the rest of Western imperialism, which is to say that Israel has the right to do what it is doing. Israel has the right to genocide the Palestinian people.
First of all, it's not been confirmed as a genocide. Even the International Court of Justice have not called it that. So you may see it that way. That is your choice. But secondly, I just noticed that you've not condemned Hamas, and you keep.
That is a good point.
where was the condemnation for Hamas? Are you saying that what happened on October the 7th was not acceptable?
When you do this,
No, I'm asking
another.
She's not going to answer the question. Of course she won't. This is exactly what I stated earlier. They act like the whole conflict or this whole IDF operation was just out of nowhere. There is no background to it. There is a conflict going on. Genuinely started, like the whole physical violence started on October 7th. Now the whole conflict obviously started a long time ago, but this war between the IDF and Hamas specifically started after October 7th. Who started October 7th? Hamas did.
Other people in the media do this. Again, it is to justify nothing.
She's not going to answer the question. She won't, because they don't want to actually assess the whole thing. They just want to pick moments that actually makes their own argument, actually makes it look good. That's the problem. Like, you got to look at everything. You can't look at the glass half empty.
Can you answer
genocide against the Palestinian people? I'm here to tell you exactly what I think.
But could you just answer
I'm not going to stand here and condemn Hamas. I'm not going.
How can you say that? How? Why? Because a resistance force for people of Palestine.
So you're not going I'm going to stand here and condemn the IDF, the occupation, and the role of Western imperialism in that entire region.
Fiona, hang on 1 second, just 1 moment.
I am here to condemn Keir Starmer and David Lammy and the British government and British imperialism's role in this occupation and in this genocide.
You cannot sit there and seriously say you will not condemn Hamas, who have
I can say whatever I like.
Well, you can, but I tell you what, the British public are watching you. The British public are watching you, and if you will not condemn terrorists, people who have caused absolute chaos upon the Palestinian people, the ones that started this conflict, can you...
That's the thing, right? At the end of the day, you can say that Hamas are actually protecting the Palestinians, but they've actually brought this upon the Palestinian people. Now, granted, the Palestinian people are also behind Hamas, right? They're chanting them, go on, fight for our freedom, erase Israel. But at the end of the day, this conflict and this replication, this whole like IDF operation that you're complaining about, it all started by being behind Hamas. So how could you possibly not condemn them?
See the disdain the British public, the people of Palestine, Jewish people will have for you.
I'm happy to condemn terrorists. Let's start with Keir Starmer. Let's start with David Lammy.
Let's start with the people that started this war.
And let's talk about the IDF. Let's talk about
who started the war on October the 7th?
I'll tell you, it began in 1948 with the forced expulsion of hundreds of thousands.
So the IDF right now, they're fighting because of what happened in 1948. See how she just cherry-picked moments there. Like, it's insane. You're talking about genocide, all these things happening, which is bad, and it should be condemned. Absolutely. It's not good that this many people are dying. Probably people that don't even support Hamas. There will probably be some part of the whole Palestinian people that don't support this war, right? You're saying they're getting killed. Okay, which is bad. But then when we're trying to talk, okay, how do we actually stop it? Okay, the whole thing started on October 7th. But then when it's time to condemn Hamas, you say, oh, no. It didn't actually start on October 7th. It started in 1948. It's like, okay, this IDF operation clearly isn't responding to what happened in 1948. There's something else there that they're actually responding to.
Would actually go further back than that.
We can get into a historical discussion.
You are correct. You are so correct. In fact, the British were entirely involved in setting up the Zionist state. They were entirely involved in that. So British imperialism,
true, which is true,
historically is responsible for those crimes. And
absolutely, she is totally right, which is true. It is true.
Today, it is still responsible for those crimes. And what makes you so angry?
I'm not sure today they are. Like, I'm not sure. I think America is actually taking the lead on that. They are more responsible for, like, resolving the conflict now. And the United Nations, obviously.
Actually, is the fact that more people support people like Bob Villan. More people in Britain actually want to see an end to the occupation.
Yes, absolutely. But the problem is the people that you're representing, Hamas people, those guys, they clearly don't believe the way they actually resolve this occupation is by diplomacy. They believe if they fight, and they cause so much violence, eventually the occupation will end. That's the problem. Okay, that generally is the problem.
They don't support Britain sending arms to Israel.
Want,
and that's what enrages you.
Yes.
They don't support Bob Villan spouting out vile anti-Semitism. I don't want you to sit here and call the British public racist and anti-Semitic, because they do not support Bob. You just said the vast majority of people support what Bob Villan said. You just said that. And they...
To be honest, I don't think you have to be anti-Semitic to actually say what the guy actually said. Him saying death to the IDF, I don't think it's necessarily anti-Semitic. I just think it's like bad calculation of trying to like assess who's actually right and who's actually wrong. I don't necessarily think it's ever anti-Semitic, to be honest.
I think you're upset.
I think you're upset about
yes, I'm upset that there's a man who's been given a platform to spout out.
But you're not upset about 100,000 Palestinians.
Who said that?
You're not upset about the fact that the IDF killed children.
I don't want children to die.
Don't shout at me.
Fiona.
You see, that's all. That clearly is the problem there. Okay, the idea that if you don't actually support what the chant was about, death to the IDF, therefore you're justifying killing all these people. No, both can be wrong, and that's what these people don't seem to understand. You can be wrong on both. Okay, like you can be wrong when you say this kind of stuff. Can also be wrong killing that many people. I don't know why they can't get at ease with that idea. They feel like they have to choose one side. It's either we go all out against the IDF, or if you don't, then you're not condemning what's actually happening in Palestine, right? You can be wrong on both, okay? Killing that many people can be wrong, whilst also saying death to the IDF can also be wrong. It's not that hard.
Can you not condemn Hamas?
I've told you.
No, but I'm asking. It's a yes or no.
Okay.
So don't do.
I've actually already answered that question.
So
I've
is there a yes?
She's so uncomfortable. If you answer it, you just say it again. She's so uncomfortable saying it.
And the other reason why you guys act like this is because you want to intimidate people from speaking out about the Palestinian movement. You want to criminalize the entire Palestinian movement. In fact, today there are activists on trial. The Filton 18, they're on trial, and the state is using counter-terrorism laws against them for the role that they have played to disrupt the Israeli war machine.
You're here on GBNEWS giving your opinion out on the airwaves.
And you're telling us what we think. You don't know.
And you're shouting
tell us we're scared of
Fiona,
you.
don't
Tell
know
us you're scared. You know, this is the ridiculous thing, isn't it? Tell us we're scared. We have you on here to give your opinion to the British public. What I'm not going to sit here and do is agree with you just because you think I should.
No,
which is what all of you lot at Glastonbury think we should all sit there going, yes, I agree with your argument. I don't agree with your argument in the slightest.
We're definitely not going to agree. But what I'm pointing out is that I think the reason that you are so shocked by what I'm saying,
we're not
and a lot of the mainstream media over the weekend was so shocked that other people were chanting with Bob Dylan, is because you are so out of touch with the real mood in society, and the real mood in society is on the side of the Palestinians.
The problem we're having here,
and you've lost that whole debate. And I think that's
Fiona, the problem we're having here
again.
is you continuously tell us what we think, but you don't listen to what we're thinking. So if you would just listen a bit more,
the genocide of Palestinians.
If you listen,
It's like just because you don't shout, oh my God, I condemn the whole. Just because you're not screaming it out doesn't mean you actually support it. Okay, it doesn't mean that.
Let me finish. Sorry. If you listen to what people have to say, then perhaps instead of telling me what I think, you might listen to what I think. Okay. And that's, I think, this is a real problem with your argument. You don't listen. You don't listen to what people think. You have no idea.
Okay.
Because they've already built up that idea that if you don't condemn anything that Israel does, therefore you're allowing it and you're cheering it on. That's not the case at all. You can think what Israel is doing is a bit too much. Like, they need to slow down. But also, you can also condemn the all death to the IDF stuff. You can absolutely do both. They're not contradictory positions. They really are not when you actually think about it. And I don't necessarily think saying death to the IDF is anti-Semitic. I think it's stupid and it's like just miscalculation, but I don't think it's necessarily anti-Semitic if you ask me. But that's just my thoughts on it. If you're new around here, subscribe to the channel. Also, if you have difference in opinions, put it down in the comments below.